Work on the Hall of Records began in July 1938, but was halted a year later. Congress wanted construction to focus on the presidents first, before moving on to the hall.
Everyone's got a side project.
I know.
Mount Rushmore, located in the Black Hills of South Dakota, is one of the most recognizable landmarks in the United States, known for its stunning portrayal of 4 American presidents, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. This grand monument attracts nearly 3 million visitors each year. However, while the towering faces carved into the granite mountainside are the focal point of the monument, there is something far more intriguing hidden just behind the bust of Abraham Lincoln, something few people are aware of. This hidden element of Mount Rushmore, known as the Hall of Records, is a secret room that was designed by the monument sculptor Gutzon Borglum as a tribute to American history and a legacy for future generations. Borglum, a Danish-American artist, had a vision that went beyond the monument's iconic faces. His ambition for Mount Rushmore was not only to honor the presidents, but to leave a historical record behind, one that could inform future civilizations about the United States, its accomplishments, and its values.
Your mountain with presidents, a noble project that will immortalize me, Gutzon Borglum.
Okay, but then he carved all our greatest presidents. Washington was the first, Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence, Lincoln ended slavery, and Roosevelt, he liked hunting?
And he was friends with the sculptor.
Teddy, you are the coolest.
The story of Mount Rushmore and its Hall of Records begins with Borglum's larger-than-life personality and his determination to make a monumental impact on the country. Born in 1867, Gutzon Borglum was a man of intense vision and ambition. He was known for his fiery temper, and his work on Mount Rushmore was no exception. He was already an accomplished sculptor when he was approached by South Dakota's state historian to take on the task of carving faces into the granite of the Black Hills. Despite his previous success, Borglum was not content with merely creating the monumental sculpture. He wanted to ensure that the creation would be remembered for millennia, not just as a historical tribute to a few presidents, but as a statement about the ideals that shaped the United States. Borglum's ambitions were not limited to just the sculpture. He had big ideas for how this massive monument would be viewed by future generations. The concept of the Hall of Records emerged as Borglum began considering the limitations of time. As he famously wrote, "You might as well drop a letter into the world's postal service without an address or signature as to send that carved mountain into history without identification." He understood that civilizations forget their predecessors, and he was determined that future generations, whether on Earth or beyond, would not forget the creators of Mount Rushmore and the ideals they represented. The Hall of Records was intended to be a space that would hold not only the story of the creation of the monument itself, but also significant historical records and artifacts. These were to include the US Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and other key documents of American history. Borglum envisioned a grand entrance leading to the chamber, with an 800-foot-long rock staircase that would take visitors to an 18-foot-tall doorway. The room itself was planned to be 75 feet long, with a vaulted ceiling that rose 35 feet above the floor. Inside, there would be an array of historical artifacts, including the founding documents of the United States and busts of prominent figures from America's past. The chamber would also feature stunning visual elements, including friezes and murals that depicted the history of the nation, from its conception to its westward expansion and beyond. Borglum's vision included a massive bronze eagle perched above the doorway, its wingspan extending 38 feet across the entrance. A cross pointing to the North Star would be mounted on the ceiling, symbolizing the nation's journey and connection to its ideals. On the walls, an inscription by John Edward Bradley would detail the history of the country, from its founding through the completion of the Panama Canal. In addition to its historical significance, Borglum intended the Hall of Records to serve as a statement of the nation's progress and its hope for the future. He wrote that the records held within the room should be collected, and on the walls of this room should be cut the literal record of conception of our republic, its successful creation, the record of its westward movement to the Pacific, its presidents, how the memorial was built, and frankly, why. However, as grand as this vision was, the Hall of Records was never completed. Construction on Mount Rushmore began in 1927, and Borglum began work on the Hall of Records in 1938. Unfortunately, in 1941, the federal government, which was funding the project, decided to cut back on the monument's budget and ordered Borglum to focus solely on the carving of the presidential faces. Borglum reluctantly abandoned his grand plans for the Hall of Records, though he continued working on the monument until his death in 1941. His son, Lincoln Borglum, took over the project and oversaw the completion of the sculpting of the four presidents. The monument was officially declared finished in 1941. But Borglum's Hall of Records remained an unfinished dream. Despite the room's unfinished status, the idea of the Hall of Records never faded away. Borglum's family continued to advocate for the completion of the chamber, hoping to see his vision realized as a tribute to his work and to the history of the United States. In 1998, a partial fulfillment of Borglum's vision was achieved when 4 generations of his family gathered at the monument to witness the installation of porcelain enamel panels inside a vault beneath the unfinished chamber. These panels, which were inscribed with key historical documents such as the US Constitution, were placed in a titanium vault and lowered into the ground. The vault was then sealed with a 200-pound black granite capstone, and the site was covered to protect it from the elements. Though the Hall of Records remains inaccessible to the public, this small gesture ensured that some part of Borglum's vision was preserved for future generations. However, even though the Hall of Records exists in a partially realized state, it remains closed off to visitors for safety and security reasons. For many, the mystery surrounding the Hall of Records only adds to the allure of Mount Rushmore. What would have been inside the completed chamber? Would it have provided us with a clearer understanding of the monument's true meaning? Could the Hall of Records have served as a beacon for future generations, guiding them through the complexities of American history? This hidden room within the mountain is a fascinating reminder that even the most iconic monuments have layers of mystery and intention beyond what meets the eye. Borglum's vision for Mount Rushmore was not just about carving 4 faces into a mountain. It was about preserving the story of the United States and ensuring that future civilizations would understand the ideals that shaped the nation. While we may never fully understand what Borglum intended for the Hall of Records, its existence serves as a testament to the power of vision, legacy, and the desire to leave a lasting impact on the world. As we look at Mount Rushmore today, it's easy to admire the grandeur of the faces etched into the granite. But when we consider the hidden chamber behind Lincoln's head, it's hard not to wonder what secrets it might hold. What would have been recorded in that room? Would it have been a message for the future, a guide to understanding the ideals of the United States? Or was it simply a reflection of Borglum's desire for immortality, a desire to ensure that his work and his country's history would be remembered forever? What are your thoughts on Borglum's vision for the Hall of Records? Do you think it's possible that future generations or even extraterrestrial visitors might one day uncover its secrets? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe for more intriguing insights into history's most mysterious stories.
Box. In the titanium box is a teakwood box, and in the teakwood box there are 16 porcelain enamel entablatures. The text of the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Gettysburg Address, and the history of Gutzon Borglum, the history of the workers, who the workers were.
He said on this that the wind and the rain will wear it away, but it's going to take a long time till the wind and the rain can go down in there.